back on the side. Today we're jumping into Fellow Travelers, Season 1, Episode 4. Ooh, I like that. I'm ready to jump right into this. Let's just get right into this, y'all. If you would like to see this in a full reaction, of course you can. For the second and third tier here on this platform that I promise you will copyright all MASH, as well as my other platform, Patreon. So please sign up to one of those platforms today to be able to see this in a full reaction. Please like the video, share, and don't forget to comment down below. Now, without further ado, let's jump into Fellow Travelers and find out exactly what Fellow Travelers has got to give. M Unit, U.S. State Department, Bureau of Security.
Your coat, sir?
What's wrong with him? Who is he? Is he okay?
Merry Christmas! Jesus Christ. Came out of nowhere. Couldn't do this.
I'm talking about a governor who supports the far-right fascist Prop 64. Or let us die.
Jerome Hawk.
To a
He lives with us. Former student. Homeless when I met him.
No, his sister gave me my marching orders. He needs to rest, but he thinks he's leading a revolution.
Tim says you got tested. Did you hear?
Not yet. Go fuck yourself, my friend.
Watch your fucking language in my house.
Everyone is staying to watch that bitch on 60 Minutes.
Our old friend Roy Cohn. Love you, baby.
There are two ways. The quiet way.
Justifying every hateful thing they do with the fucking Bible. Sorry.
Someone needs to be louder.
Called the governor's office a dozen times.
Can we get in to actually see someone, his chief of staff?
If he makes the appointment, we can.
We should drop a list of demands.
Impetuous youth.
Oh, man.
I do not have AIDS.
Come on.
You know why people ask.
Sure, toughness is totally incompatible with anything homosexual.
That's their sweater, Miss Addison?
Thank you, Mr. Fuller. Mr. Fuller, may I have a word about this afternoon's meeting?
Please.
It was that girl.
Did Miss Addison see it?
She hadn't come in yet. When's the interview?
Tomorrow. They don't waste time, do they?
We'll be watching you. Be careful.
About your report into the Fort Monmouth investigation. My position hasn't changed. The department can't afford to draw fire from McCarthy. Not with the M Unit cleaning house. Holiday soiree. Just bureau heads and their wives if they have them.
Actually, sir, my schedule just cleared up. I can make it after all.
Congratulations on your nuptials, Joe. I'm sure Gene will make you very happy.
Keep the libations flowing. 'Tis the season. You can trust him, fellas. A good Catholic boy.
Ever since Shine was drafted, Cohn has been demanding weekends off, reduced basic training.
There are rumors of these two men being fairies. If you don't fire them, Joe, this whole thing's going to have to be investigated. Maybe even in front of television cameras.
Roy graduated law school at 20. Sent 2 atomic spies to the electric chair at 25. You're telling me to let them protect spies in their ranks?
If Mr. Cohn is truly dedicated to your cause, shouldn't he put aside any personal issue to protect it?
And he will. Or face the consequences.
Santa Claus with his red suit on.
Press is having a field day with your boots.
Yeah, well, the army doesn't make my size.
Hey, Private. Nice boots.
Yeah, nice boots.
There are senators working to get me fired right now. They could send you to Siberia and I won't be able to do a damn thing.
Like you didn't do a damn thing about me getting drafted?
He's using him. Duh.
I'll try.
Boy, women are insatiable this time of year. But I'd rather have a weekend in. And after, we'll go back to the Waldorf. Can't do that with women.
Like you can with a pal.
This is Miss Smith.
It's a pleasure.
Oh, all mine, my dear.
Mr. McLeod's our head of security. He works night and day to purify Foggy Bottom. Just doing my duty. I take great pleasure in being a thorn in Senator McCarthy's side, and Mr. McLeod has a signed portrait of McCarthy hanging on the wall of his office.
My father is not afraid to speak his mind in defense of his country. Careful, I might get used to this.
Used to.
Walking into a room on your own.
Shocking the way you're turned away from that club. It's a fine piece of writing.
I'm proud to have my work published by a black paper.
Now, with your talents, you could have a larger audience, a better salary. I'd like to offer you a temporary desk here at the Post. Call it a trial run. A Negro writer writing about the Negro experience.
Different Negroes have different experiences.
Right.
Well, as you're getting situated, it might be best if you avoided the newsroom's facilities for now. There's a smaller bathroom on the 4th floor.
We believe we have reason to ask you a series of questions.
What reason?
We're not at liberty to say.
80% of these sessions end with the admission of at least one prescribed behavior by the interviewee.
How long have you worked at State?
Since 48.
What is your marital status?
Single. But there is a special lady in the picture. She and Mr. McLeod have met, actually.
Mr. Fuller, please get up and walk across the room. Please return to your seat.
Philip opened a large cupboard filled with dresses, and stepping in, took as many of them as he could in his arms and buried his face in them.
The gentleman who left the unit last week, he stepped in front of a truck. You ever worry that someone might kill you instead?
Right, you stupid bitch.
Have to return tomorrow for a polygraph.
No, that won't be necessary. Just speak to Mr. McLeod.
Trying to clear the backlog before the holidays. Can you come back tomorrow after hours?
On behalf of Mr. Morton and the entire Bureau, I'd like to thank all of you for another brilliant year.
The second part, it's polygraph.
They're going to ask you questions about your private activities in detail.
I hope they schedule several hours for that.
You're all wrong for him, Fuller. He is deeply sincere, and you're going to hurt him.
Mr. Fuller, thank you for everything. You're wonderful.
I am wonderful. So why don't you just suffer?
Maggie said we have to keep your weight up. Pasta.
You said you know someone connected to the governor. Dave Holm. He's a Republican fundraiser. Convince him to set up a meeting with the governor's chief of staff.
And why am I doing this?
To introduce me. We've been waiting for this meeting for weeks. They're ignoring us. They can't ignore you.
I certainly know what it's like to lose someone.
How is Lucy?
She's managing. Skippy, I can't make that call.
Why not? You think that by walking into that office with me, you'll be coming out?
I have a family, grandkids. I have a right to protect them.
And I have a right not to die. I thought you were sober.
I am. Between drinks.
Your bathhouses are closed.
My duty to obey my military superiors. They forbid me to give you the classified information.
These attacks on loyal soldiers at Fort Monmouth are an insult to every man and woman in uniform.
Merry Christmas. I can return it. I got the receipt.
I like it, Skippy. I like it. I got something for you in here.
Careful, don't leave a mark.
Are you worried what Grandma Laughlin will think?
Senator McCarthy.
There's a meeting in New York. It's McCarthy, Cohn, and John Adams. And Gene and I are supposed to be stationed at the door to keep him out of the meeting. All the favors Roy's been asking on his behalf, the army brass is fed up. I should have told you about the meeting. Why can I never say no to you? I'm irresistible. It's your turn tonight.
Your turn tonight? That's really gross. That is so gross. I have never been that in love, y'all. Never.
No, it's just a fantasy. What would we do?
Not that shit. You just
if we could.
Oh, Lord, that shit was gross.
I want to see the Rockettes, the Radio City Music Hall.
He's so handsome. Was that the wedding ring that he's gonna propose to that girl? Lucy?
It's for you.
Wow.
I can't bear being this happy. Before you go, I need a favor. Give this to Shine tomorrow. No one else.
At least tell me. Will it hurt anyone?
It might stop innocent people from getting hurt.
Give him a gift and then give him a curse.
What was that for?
So you'll remember me.
Is my husband there? I'm sorry, it's Lucy Fuller.
Can I have him call you back?
Please. It's not urgent. He said he needed to be there until your sister comes back. I didn't really have a choice.
How are you?
Getting by.
Positions, y'all. Learn how to pass the polygraph test.
Merry Christmas, Tim. I got him to sign it for you. Take this into Joe and linger. Be my eyes and ears.
General counsel for the Army, I have to protest the extravagant pressure brought on by Mr. Cohn.
Precisely why his important work on our committee can't be interrupted.
Mrs. McCarthy thought you might need this, sir.
Provided Mr. Shine with a private room to write his subcommittee reports, a room he has yet to set foot in, penthouse in which he apparently spends a lot of time with Mr. Cohn, could be brought up on charges for using the influence of your office to gain special privileges for a uniformed soldier.
Private Shine is a patriot. Above all else, he will go wherever he needs to go. Right, Roy?
I'll wreck the goddamn army. Joe, he has got to go. What are you lurking there for?
Were you sent overseas to serve in the United States Army in 1943?
Yes.
You ever frequented a Washington, D.C. establishment called the Chicken Hut?
Have you ever been present at a Washington, D.C. establishment called the Cozy Corner in Mid-City?
No.
No.
That mole is gonna make him pass.
Have you ever engaged in sodomy? No. Have you ever given or received presents of a romantic nature to or from another man? No. And the answer is no. Have you ever considered yourself to be in love with another male?
Look, well, if he didn't do all the other things.
Answer the question. No.
Are you in love? Don't be shy.
Not at the moment. Don't you think sometimes the love for another person can take on a godly quality?
What saddens me are the people trying to stab my husband in the back. What happens if they win?
I just wish people didn't have to get hurt.
Who's getting hurt? Commies and deviants.
Clerks, janitors, engineers.
Let them die. That's how we win.
This meeting is over.
You'll be sorry, Mr. Adams.
What happened?
They're idiot.
Army's bringing charges.
Charges against who?
Me and Roy abusing the power of our office.
You have got to get rid of that little Jew and his perfect friend. You cut them free and let them twist in the wind.
This came in the office for you yesterday. It says confidential.
Empire State.
Yeah, what the hell? It's Christmas. Clean as a whistle.
Oh, your cufflinks.
What's it stand for?
Fordham, my alma mater, and history, my major.
Hawkins, spending the holiday with your family? Oh, I forgot you don't have one. That's why you're always here.
He's so unhappy. And no one knows why.
Flip a sable under the tree for me. A 54 convertible to go hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa baby, I got to mention one little thing.
Congratulations on your job at the Post.
Still auditioning.
To success.
At least the appearance of it. When the interrogator asked you those questions, how did you block out the memories? Keep your mind blank.
You pass with the absence of guilt. Guilt cranks the machine.
Let us have a dagger between our teeth, a bomb in our hand, and infinite scorn in our heart. Did they ask you if you ever loved another man?
They did.
So, you're celebrating because you don't love Tim? Or because you're such a damn good liar?
I'm not celebrating.
McCarthy's gonna fire me to save his skin. I'm a Jew. If he fires me, everyone's gonna think he's a Jew hater.
Roy, you need to look at this.
What?
What does it mean?
It means this is a time of knocks, Dave. Stupid alcoholic fat Mick isn't gonna fire Roy Cohn.
You now have to spend Christmas Day with the folks. They'll want to hear all about the new job.
Will your old girlfriend be there? It's exciting.
What?
Thinking of you.
The woman. Merry Christmas, Santa baby.
Streets are white with snow, the happy crowds are mingling. I guess I've got the Christmas blues. I guess I've got.
Tim! Skippy, I'm sorry about earlier, okay?
Is he there? I hope he's not dead.
Skip. Where's Tim?
It's lucky we were here when it happened, and Frankie went with him in the ambulance. And
what happened?
He had a seizure.
Well, ooh, that was a great episode. I think. No, yes, it was a great episode. As you guys can see, this is a different day. I have a different shirt on. I filmed that episode, I think 3 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. I don't remember. And now I'm on a new batch of filming. I generally film the same day and then try to put out whatever content I have that day. As soon as I'm done watching whatever show or movie, I film my outro, my pure reaction right after my recording of the episode. So with that being said, I did just that. I know I ranted on for about 20 minutes of this episode. As I'm finishing editing it now, I looked and realized my outro isn't there. My outro is not attached to my full reaction, which means that this reaction went past over an hour, so I have to separate it because my software won't put that much it won't put that much of a reaction together. It won't put that much of a video together. It'll cut it off after like 1 hour and 7 minutes. So I do the reaction, and then after I'm done editing whatever the film is, I just attach the outro to the reaction. With that being said, I filmed a bunch of shows. I must have each reaction or each video has a number. When I was uploading, I guess there was a duplicate number, and so I think I overwrote an older reaction, which ended up being the outro of this show. So, do I remember what I said in it? Not at all. Do I know what I was feeling at that very moment when I was doing it? Not at all. I have no idea. But as I'm editing it, I can give you just a very quick summary of how I feel about the episode. I guess I could re-say it. Overall, this episode was a 10 out of 10. I also really do like us going back and forth from present day, where we're seeing Mr. Bridgerton himself. We see Tim, and he's sick, and seeing Hawk, being there for him and going back and forth. And obviously, like, I don't see how Hawk does not have HIV or AIDS, because Hawk was going around sleeping around with different men, and it seems like Tim or Skippy, it was not. Skip was really in love with Hawk, and so Hawk was in love with him. But being a DL man, especially being, I guess you could lose your job and or be arrested, he just couldn't do it. I also find very fascinating, it still happens to present day. A lot of men who are gay, a lot of men who like to put something in their mouth and go, a lot of men who like other men, they bash, they hate, they want to put gay men, put the LGBT community on a cross, hang them, they spew such hatred, and they are part of the community itself. It's just a crazy, crazy scenario. And as we see McCarthy, as we see Roy Cohen, we see Shine. I don't know who Shine is. I know McCarthy and I know Cohen. Roy. His name is Cohen, right? I know those two individuals, but I don't know Shine, like I at all. But as you see, like what's going on? Like I don't understand the pure hatred for something that you are. Why didn't these people go out and try to make a change instead of just adding on to the chaos and anger and hatred? And if you think about today's present day world, don't you see that right now? And I'm not just talking about the LGBT community. I'm talking about overall. When people don't understand something, or even screw that, people nowadays in this present day world, there's so much hate, fear, and anger that they feel like they can make money off of or profit off of other people's misery. That just seems to be the political field that we live in. That seems to be the everyday life. As soon as you step out of your doors, and if you have roommates, maybe your roommates feel some type of way. There's anger amidst everywhere, unfortunately. But although there is more anger out there, I feel like, actually, I don't really think there's more anger out there. I think there's a lot more good in people, and a lot more people that do good things. It's just that the few bad can really F shit up. Also, once again, in this, I like how they did the split screen. As I was just editing this, they showed at the ending of this video, or the episode, where Lucy was happy and proud and in love with her bracelet, and then you saw Skippy with his cufflinks, and then what did you see? You see the man who is battling whether he is gay. Well, he knows he's gay, but battling what to do or how to live his life, hooking up with somebody else at the bathhouse, or whatever that was, whatever that place is that they meet men and hug. I'm assuming that's a bathhouse. And they just did the comparison, and they did the comparison earlier with the older Lucy and Skippy, and I'm having a phone conversation. So we have that situation as well. I don't, at this moment, know why Hawk wanted Shine to have that photo. Maybe to get rid of McCarthy, because Hawk is looking out for his friend who is going against McCarthy. So if you take out McCarthy, but then you're going to have Cohen. So do you want to battle the devil that you know than the devil you don't know? Because if they get rid of McCarthy out of power, I'm assuming Roy becomes more empowered than what he already is. Because he's like known. Even today, although he's dead, he's like known. So I wonder if and I don't really know much about him. Was he an asshole like throughout his whole life, or what the case and scenario is? I'm not sure if this is the episode that I was wondering a lot about Roy Cohen's nose, or was that the last episode? I don't know. His nose is such a big problem with me. But I think that was the last episode. It was. Also, as you see in this episode, I had to scroll through it to give you guys just a little bit longer my outro of how I feel about the episode. Of my outro. In the beginning, you saw that somebody killed himself because he was found out that he was gay. He couldn't. I don't know if he didn't pass the polygraph test, or if they, whatever. Like, damn. And once again, that happens today, in today's environment. I don't really, for some reason, I feel like I don't hear about it often, but I know it happens often. And I know in other countries, people, I know that they put gay, the LGBT community, they'll put them, it's mostly men. I don't really, to tell you the truth, I don't really hear a lot about like lesbians, although I do know lesbians go through battles as well, dealing with like family that doesn't want to accept them and that. But I feel like I always hear about gay men, and like gay men being thrown off of buildings, being lit on fire, being hung. This is in other countries. But I don't really hear that much about women, but I'm sure that it does happen. But in this beginning, we see the man, he kills himself, and then later on, Hawk actually mentioned it, and that other guy with the big-ass mole on his head, he seems to be unbothered and unfazed. But Hawk had to gather him all the way together, him and his mole. And he even said the tick was going up. People were killing themselves left and right. They're losing their jobs. They're being outed. They don't want to be outed. Leave them the F alone. Also, that lady who ratted out on Hawk, I am so happy that, like, I'm a gay man. Because if I was a female and somebody did that, like, say if I was a female and another female did that to my friend, I would drag you straight to hell, knock on hell's door, and say, hey, we got a passenger. They want to be lit on fire. Like, I would gather you all the way together, girl. And just her cocky, smirky ass, entitled ass self with her, let me not read her all the way down. She's an actress playing a character. So I can't bash that lady. But just the overall of a person doing that is just disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. What else? What other highlights were there in this episode? We saw something about the black guy being part of the Post now, so that's pretty good. Also, in this reaction, I said when Hawk and Skippy were hooking up, right? And then Hawk said, it's your turn. I'm not sure if anybody said, like, or anybody will know what I'm talking about when I was like, oh my God, that is disgusting. I never loved nobody like that. And from what I gathered of what happened, which was nauseating for me, it wasn't obviously two men hooking up because Heidi Ho went slow. It was because Hawk went down, did what he had to do, right? He did his big one, and then kept the big one in his mouth, and then made out with Skippy, and they swapped it with the big one, swapping back and forth. I have never loved somebody that much in my life. In 30, I'm not gonna tell you my age. I'm in my 30s. Never. And I don't know if I ever will. I'm telling you, I was engaged. I fell in, I have been in love before, and I barely even like to touch feet. Like, I don't know, you can call me a diva, you could call me bougie, I don't know, a divo, whatever you want to call me. Certain things I cannot do. So just in case you guys see that reaction, like you're probably wondering what the holy hell I was talking about, that's what it seemed that happened, and that is what I took with me. And I remember after that, I couldn't actually drink anything for a little bit, especially if it was white. Also, when Hawk was when he was older Hawk went into that bar and he thought he could get laid back and somebody didn't take control. That dom top, every dom top, there's a top that's a little more dom than you, dominant, okay? And that man, that bear, or is that considered a bear or a cub? I don't know what they or a beaver. What are they? In the gay, in just case y'all don't know, the gay community, we name each other after like animals. I don't know where it came from. That is a whole Google to the keys to the gags, so let me squeeze to the juices on where all these bears, cubs, beavers, etc. came from. But whatever that man was with all that hair, he smashed that man against the. Ooh, Hawk didn't know what to do, darling. He was about to be like, I am switching my role tonight. But overall, I think I hit most of the points I wanted to say. I love the drag queen in this show. Also, seeing Skippy now having a seizure, I can't even imagine what people go through who suffer from HIV. I know if you have AIDS now, like you could take medicine, and I remember when my friend caught AIDS or got AIDS. Is it HIV? No, he had HIV. I'm sorry, HIV. We had HIV. He had to take like 7 pills. I think now, if you have HIV, you could take like 1 or 2 pills. I believe. AIDS is if you don't take care of the HIV, right? So AIDS is a progression step. But if you have AIDS and having to deal with, especially back in the day when they didn't have any type of medicine, I'm assuming, going through all of what they went through, the torture, it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. But yes, I think I hit all of the points of this episode. I'm really sad that I did it. Oh, I know one part, and then I'm off of this, and then I'm gonna wrap this whole thing up. I know that I was pissed when they were doing the test of Hawk, and Hawk had to walk back and forth, and they assumed the way you walk is if you're gay or not. Yes, some gay people walk, whatever. Like, I know for me, I give a little twitch, a switch, or whatever, but I got a big ass booty, so it's gotta be switching and twitching, okay? But also I hate the stereotypes that gay men, and they happen in movies and TV shows, not as often as it was when I was growing up, but like Will and Grace, perfect example, although I love that show. But they depicted gay people to not really Will, because Will's a little more masculine. Will was also straight in real life, but they always depict a gay man to be super feminine. And then even in our own community, they will say, at least in my area, not all, but a lot of people do say it. They'll say no fats, no femmes. Discrimination within our own self, our own community. People bash feminine gay men. If you are feminine, they right away assume also that you're a bottom. There are feminine tops. There are feminine verse men. But other men just believe that I don't know what it is about the gay community, because it does happen with me too. As this mean, I personally like very masculine men, and I always end up with people who are bisexual. That I don't know, I don't go looking for it, it just so happens to be that way. So that's what always happened for me. But I've dated a feminine guy before, and I don't understand why in our own community we will bash feminine men who are a little bit more femme. Why, like, what are we doing? And then I know I went on a date before, a couple of times in my lifetime. And I remember this one guy, he was like, okay, because I wear fitted clothes. I wear tight-ass skinny, I wear skinny jeans. I cannot wear baggy clothes. All my clothes is fitted. And he told me, okay, this is what he said. He said, I really think you're attractive, but we need your pants a little bit more loose. You need to be a little bit more masculine. And then we can go on the second date. Like, he was doing me some favors. I just don't know what is wrong with our community. And it's not all, but there are a lot of men where they'll go out on dates with men, and then if one guy is a little bit more feminine, they just completely will block them. They will not speak to them ever again. They'll bash them. They'll stay away from them. Like, it's just weird. It's just weird. You're still showing hate for yourself. You're still showing that you don't love yourself. And this is my personal opinion. I hate when the LGBT community is very hateful towards themselves. And I also hate when minorities don't stick up for each other. Those are my two non-negotiable points, if that's a word. I'm kind of tired. But those are always my trigger points, and I will definitely go crazy. I just don't understand when the oppressed is oppressing the oppressors, right? No, the oppressed is oppressing themselves. Maybe that's how I should say it. Because minorities and minority groups, as in like the LGBT community, there's a lot that will bring them down even lower than how we already feel sometimes. Not all, but some. And it's disgusting. And I hope that eventually, as time goes on, which I highly doubt it, I should be more positive in my reactions. But sorry. But you want me to be realistic or be fake? I just hope that one day, it's possible that we just love each other for who we are, and instead of just preaching and saying love is love at every gay pride parade, that we actually use that in everyday life, because it's disgusting that we don't. It really is. Anyways, I would give this episode a 10 out of 10. I love it, 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 and I really cannot wait until we continue with more. Now, if you like this reaction, please hit that like button, share, and don't forget to comment down below. You want to see this in a full reaction? Of course, once again, Patreon and YouTube side of things, and please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop all of my reactions. And I'll see you guys next time with more fellow travelers.